Good evening. We are live. This might be the second time you've seen us, because for the first time this season, I screwed up and pressed the wrong buttons. So apologies if this is the second time. Before you saw us before the music and afterwards. If you didn't, and I've just explained that, then utterly pointless. But almost as pointless as watching Ipswich play a team in the top 6. Joining me tonight, Seb Brown. Seb, how are you?
Very well. Yourself? Apart from sitting through that for the last hour and a half, obviously.
Nothing changes.
One of our mates, we were watching it on Zoom, one of our mates asked us, saying, what will you talk about on the live show? Because surely every single live show you do is exactly the same as the previous one. Yeah, Groundhog Day again.
Ipswich lose by a single goal to a team in the top 6. So we're desperate to hear from you guys, really, guys and girls. A lot of us were saying after Saturday that it will prove to be a false dawn. As soon as we come up against someone half decent, we'll regress back to the norm, and that's proven to be the case. We'll talk about the match. We'll kind of talk about bits and pieces of the action. I guess one of the things I want to hear about in the chat is it was Groundhog Day last week, and Seb has just mentioned it. The whole premise of Groundhog Day is that Bill Murray lives the same day over and over again until finally he's a better version of himself. He's selfless. He cares about people, whereas at the start he doesn't. And I want to know if Paul Lambert had his own Groundhog Day and lived today, again and again and again, would he ever manage to contrive a victory for Ipswich at Peterborough? That's what I want to know, because part of me, Seb, feels that we could have played that match 40, 50, 60 times, and the outcome would probably be a 1-goal defeat, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we have played that game probably, 30, 40 times now, when you consider how many we've failed to beat the top 6, top 8, top 10. It was no different to any of the other games that we've seen this season or last season. It's just absolutely, it's getting to the ridiculous point now. I mean, he's not going to, I don't think he's going to go after this result, but at some point, even the law of averages say we have to beat one of these sides. Surely, we'll get a lucky deflected goal or a penalty or something will happen. But it's just the same every single time, isn't it? It's absolute.
We did score, though. We did score. First things first. I need to say, if you want to shout us in the chat, if you want to give us a thumbs up, or if you feel sorry for us, like I think Bits might. Evening to Bits, and thank you for the $4.99. Super chat, really appreciate that. And bad team selection, bad bench, unable to cover Downs or Dazelle. Ward, judgment is poor, pitch terrible, season over, and I've had enough. Bits, no, we need you to stay with us. We need your positivity. We need that back. But thank you so much for the super chat. You can do that too if you're on our YouTube. Just give us, I think there's a super chat option in there. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. And obviously, yeah, we'll go through it. What else have we got here? Jonathan, poor. Don't tell us what you think, Jonathan. Don't beat around the bush. Sure, he's trying to get sacked. Yeah. Simon, sack the stupid start. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Alex Corey, I can see your comment, but it's a little bit too early for YouTube's liking for us to use those words. But I agree with you. Ashley, totally inferior in every aspect. And so, yeah, so easy to play against. We'll talk about the match in a second. But I think that for me is the biggest issue out of tonight is even in some of the other games against the top 6 teams where we've lost, there were passages of play where we didn't look that bad. Tonight, maybe the early goal didn't help in that respect. But Seb, my impression of tonight's match, and I said it to you in the first half particularly, it was like when I saw us play Villa away in the FA Cup when we were in the Championship, or when we went and watched us play Man United at Old Trafford. We kind of set up for damage limitation, didn't we?
Yeah, and the possession stats sort of showed that. At one point, I think it was 2/3 of the way through the first half, it came up saying we'd had 31% possession. You know, we didn't really look to push on once Norwood had got the goal, and we'll talk about the game in a minute. Didn't look to push on once Norwood had got the ball, and you know, it was so easy for Peterborough just to carve us open, especially down the flanks. We're so easy to play against, and that's surely a sign of crap coaching. You know, where you don't have to do much to beat us, put it that way.
And yeah, there you go. Michael, evening to Michael, or morning to Michael, I think. Peterborough not that good. We made them look good. What else have we got here? Art meets electronica. When would we ever be one of the so-called big boys in this league? The management is seriously incompetent. Yep.
And that's why it makes the whole playoffs thing a stupid argument. You know, everyone's just saying, you know, if we get in the playoffs, you know, that's the target for the season. If you spend 2 years not beating anybody in the top six, what's the point of finishing in the playoffs? Because you'll just lose both legs. And
here's George. At least we lost the game of stat showing we were outplayed. Surely he's not going to come out and say we played well.
I bet he will. I guarantee he will.
You know, Seb's on post-match watch, by the way. So, and obviously you guys are too in the chat. So if Paul Lambert actually turns up for the post-match, and if we get some good quotes, I think last time we did one of these, we were kind of keeping our fingers crossed for a Le Coach-esque party. That's not.
Won't happen.
Primarily because we don't have many French speakers in the squad. I think you were saying, Seb, before in the green room just beforehand. But keep us informed if there's anything exciting or anything above the ordinary.
It'll be the same old bingo tick-offs when it played well. Pitch was a nightmare to play on. Too many fixtures, etc., etc. Need a bit of help in the summer. That's what you'll say.
Need a bit of help. Adam Elvin, for the love of God, Evans, do something. It's getting beyond painful. Yeah, I was definitely kind of the anger, denial, bargaining stuff. There was some grudging acceptance, I think, of just our level now and how this is. Oh, what have you got, Seb?
Lost Lager.
Lost Lager. Was that one of the free ones?
It was, yeah. £1.95 for 4, and they're big cans. To be fair play to them.
I just had a bottle of Hoppy Robson from our friends at Away Days. By the way, that's not an advert, but it's support town fan. It was very nice, very biscuity. I think I would describe it. We'll need to talk about this as well. Jonathan Emmon, how can you bring in players and not play them after winning start and go back to this drab? We'll talk about the selection in a second. Just get through a few early comments. Uber ITFC. Yeah, you've done some censorship for me. That's good. This is getting ridiculous. He has to go. We can't beat anyone half decent. And now 9 points off 5th. You'll argue we're 4 points from 6th. But when that, I don't know what that word is, as 6th place in the league being a good finish. Yeah, a lot of people are going to say that. And fair enough, I think.
Yeah, rightly so.
Andrew Sams, the whole club is wrong at the moment, the whole way through. Starts from the core, which obviously is a rotten owner, and it just stems out to all aspects of the club until the owner goes ... There will be no change. Look how I did that. I'm
effortless.
Spinning the decks. I can't start the video properly at the start of the stream, right? But I can press buttons now. What else have we got here? Yeah, here we go. Evening to Francois. Everything positive and promising from Saturday was missing this evening. The way we were set up, the way we played, which seems to show that it's luck when we do well, or we can only beat the crap teams in the division, right, Seb?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it, isn't it? You know, we always win against the rubbishy sides, grind out a result, and as soon as we play anybody who is remotely on not even our level, above our level, we don't even lay a glove on them.
Simon, the squad is way too big, needs a lot of change in the summer. Get a new man in now to assess who to keep and who goes. If we have time and it comes up in the chat, interesting to get your thoughts generally, folks, on the salary cap being effectively voided due to a complaint by the PFA. I think that's good news generally.
Very.
But presumably another kind of, well, whether it makes a huge amount of difference to Marcus Evans in the summer, we don't know. But interested to get your views on that, and Seb will maybe come back to you on that. Lloyd Beanie, time to go. Let's quote Arsenal Fan TV as always. Eric Clacton, Lambert, what a plonker. Just got to lob that one in there. Evening to Andrew, Run Fat Boy Run. Evening, gents, predictable crap. Hashtag Lambert out. Yep.
Is there anybody, do you reckon, at this stage, apart from Evans, who still thinks Lambert can do the job, do you reckon?
No. And the trouble is now, I've got people who I know outside of ITFC who are just totally confused. I was chatting with a mate who runs a Wickham supporters site, and a guy called Tom Hancock, I think, does some stuff for 442 as well. And he was totally confused. Obviously, Lambert was at Wickham for a while, and actually had got some really similar stories of how he conducted himself at Wickham, but said, no one knows why he's still in charge at Ipswich. And then I said 4-year contract extension. Mikey, like the video if you'd like that to be Lambert's last game. Yeah, we love all those kind of things to get the likes. We're all about the likes. No, we're not. We're all about the quality. That's what we're about. Let's start talking about the match. Thank you for the comments. Keep them coming in. I will keep an eye on them and we'll go through, particularly if there's anything happening in the post-match press conference. Let's just have a look at the starting lineup, Seb. I want to get your thoughts on. We'll cover our faces up and talk about this. We got wind early, sort of late afternoon, that there might be some kind of 4-4-2. Also potentially that the old guard will come in at fullback, and that proved to be the case. This is the way that SofaScore, I think, we've set up with kind of a 4-3-1-2.
Yeah.
Were you seeing this as more of a kind of a diamond?
I think we all expected the diamond based on the team sheet and then how it sort of kicked off. What became very apparent was that Bishop sort of had this free role to really, really get up and support the two strikers. So I quite liked that aspect of it. But as the game went on, it wasn't hard to see that Dizelle and Judge were not, they weren't designed to play those kind of slightly wider roles in central midfield, and that left the fullbacks horribly, horribly exposed time and time again. So I mean, I can understand why he's brought Chambers, not so much Ward, but why he's brought Chambers back in, given the pitch and I guess the quality of their attack, but at least he's finally gone away from 4-3-3. I guess you could say that's a bit of a positive. But as the game went on, it was so obvious that midfield wasn't set up correctly.
No, there was a moment in the first half where Bishop did really well. He span away from his man and played a nice kind of forward directional pass for someone who should be running forward in the left back position.
And there's just nothing there. Yeah, nothing there at all.
So we've talked about the kind of changes for Ipswich, changes at fullback, and Norwood coming in to partner Troy Parrott. Peterborough made one change from the team that beat Crewe. Mo Asa coming in for streaky Dembele, which I thought was kind of a bit of a benefit. But to be honest, Mo Asa would get in most teams in League One, probably even ours at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not drastically weaker from them. Exclusive. We're hearing that Paul Lambert is not doing a post-match. So make of that what you will. In terms of the match action, Seb, I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this graphic up here. This is also from SofaScore, and this demonstrates the attacking momentum throughout the match. Ipswich took the lead after 5 minutes. I assume that's the little this bit of blue graph you can see here where we took a surprising early lead. And it's a decent enough goal, this actually. The start had been, it's not as if much of the game had unfolded. And but I guess if you're setting yourself up to, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Setting yourself up to sneak a win or to go direct, it's always better to have something to hold on to. And said 1-0 Norwood.
Yeah,
Norwood really smart to kind of duck under the ball and create a little bit of havoc, and Bishop does well, and Norwood does well too.
Yeah, he does well. I mean, nothing really happened for the first 5 minutes, did it? It was noticeable we were going long at every single opportunity. Try and hit it to one of the front guys, get them to try and hold it up and look to get the other striker and Bishop sort of running in behind. But Norwood took the goal really, really well. It was a nice... Parrott did well, didn't he? But he bundled with their centre-half. Their number 4 was a big guy. It wasn't the best of clearances from their centre-back. Bishop does well to hook it back in, and Norwood takes it well, catches it on the half volley. And it's a really good start, because up until then, like I say, nothing had really happened. And well, bloody hell, when was the last time we scored a first half goal, let alone one in the first 10 minutes? So that was really, really encouraging. Took the goal well, and at that point, I guess no one was expecting miracles tonight, but it was a bit of positivity and pleased for Norwood. Is that his first league goal of the season? I can't think. Scored against Portsmouth in the cup, didn't he? Has he scored in the league? I'm not sure. Maybe. Oh yeah, he scored against Swindon on Sky, didn't he? I
don't know off the top of my head.
First or second goal, I think, in the league. So really pleased for him, and it was a really positive start. But we were noticeably looking to go long every single time we got the ball. Some of Holy's kicks were huge, and both fullbacks were just absolutely launching it. The game plan was very much hit it up to them, hit the strikers early, get them to hold it up, and look for Bishop to make the runs in behind.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of attacking intent, there's not a huge amount more from Ipswich now. Peterborough basically, I think it took Peterborough a while to realise that we were not here to play.
Yeah.
And when they did, they basically asserted their dominance. As that graphic kind of illustrates.
Well, I guess the early goal might have knocked them a little bit, but as soon as it got past the 15-minute point, they probably thought, well, they're clearly here for a point, so let's crack on. And you can see that on that graphic there. From probably the 15-20-minute point onwards, it's all Peterborough for the rest of the half and the first 10 minutes or so of the second half, because they knew that we weren't going to be too adventurous.
13 minutes. We dodged one here. It's a yellow card for Flynn Downs for pretty forceful challenge. We all think this is probably a red card, don't we?
I thought he was lucky. Yeah, I think in the world of VAR and Premier Leagues, I think he's off for that one. The force he went into is definitely excessive force. The speed of the challenge was very over the top. Peterborough obviously reacted massively to it. I thought he was lucky just to get the yellow, and obviously that then hampers him, because then you've got 75 minutes of Downs on a yellow card. So every time he's going to go in for a challenge, you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, careful!" And it really does it hinders his game, doesn't it?
Yeah. Endangering an opponent. I think we can. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't off the ground. It wasn't 2-footed. It was just the force of it. I think he just hit the guy so hard, and he I haven't seen it again, but I think his leg was following through, and it was a really nasty one.
Yeah, nasty.
If he'd have been sent off, having seen one replay we got, I don't think any of us could have been, felt hard done by.
I think the earliness of the match maybe helped him there.
Maybe. Yeah.
21, Chambers and McGuinness getting each other's way. Holy gets 2 attempts to gather the ball. 27 is a shot that pinged from the edge of the area. I think it's from Isu's. Holy catches. 29, a bit of panic from Holy from a corner. But 38, Seb, it's 1-1. And I think you have to point fingers at the defence for this one. I mean, this is a cross out from the left-hand side that hangs the ball up in the air, but there's enough bodies to deal with Clark Harris here, isn't there?
Yeah, well, Chambers obviously commits to the header, doesn't he, in the centre of the field, and misses it. So it goes out to the guy on their left. Judge, for me, doesn't do enough to stop the cross. The guy floats it in, and then you're looking at, you've got Ward and McGuinness, and Clark Harris gets in between them. But Ward, for me, needs to be stronger. He's falling down. He's complaining to the ref, but he's just out muscled, isn't he? Clark Harris is stronger. The ball seems to take an absolute eternity to go into the goal, but it was such an easy goal, such an easy header, and really, really poor defending from us. You could argue that I don't really blame McGuinness, I guess, because I guess he is maybe Ward's man coming in from that side slightly, but none of them covered themselves in glory. Judge has to do more to cut out the cross, and then in the middle, just take ownership and absolutely hammer the guy. It's far too easy for. I mean, Stephen Ward is 35, capped numerous times by Ireland, played in the Premier League. He should have that level of experience and that strength. He's not a small guy. If it was Matheson, for example, you'd think, okay, well, Clark Harris has just done one on him, but he's far too easy, and it's such a poor goal to concede.
I'm blaming McGuinness. McGuinness is in the team to do exactly that, is to head things away. We've seen his heading prowess. The fact that Ward is there is confusing and doesn't help matters, but isn't that not that's his job, isn't it, McGuinness?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like I say, none of the defence covered themselves in glory, but it was such a poor goal to concede. It's such an easy goal to concede. They didn't really have to work too hard for it at all.
And that's half time, and there's not a huge amount of. I mean, it's not a huge amount to talk about in general, but Peterborough had the better of it.
They just grew into the game, didn't they? They grew into the game, and they were so much better in the final third.
Then there's this substitution at half time and a change of system, and I think there might be multiple systems in the second half. Edwards comes on for Nord. We don't know what the story is. Nord went down, didn't he? And which I thought was a time-wasting tactic.
I think that was a tactic. Yeah, I don't think he was injured. We've seen him do it before. We score a late goal and he takes 20 minutes to walk back from the goal to the kickoff again for the start of the game. So I think we were under a bit of pressure at that stage. So I think he was just trying to run the clock down a little bit. I'm not sure that was an injury, but obviously if Lambert has subbed him for tactical reasons, then well, he has.
Yeah. So we're not going to hear more about the reasoning behind that because Lambert's not going to do post-match apparently. So
they are doing. Taylor's doing it. Taylor's doing it.
Taylor's doing it, is he? Yeah. Fine. Well, we might hear about that, but not really sure about that one. And Edwards again came on and didn't really feature too much. Maybe once Peterborough, spoiler alert, got the second goal and we're kind of comfortable, and we, occasional forays forwards, Edwards got involved, but largely just not enough from anyone. Second half starts, Peterborough nearly scores straight away. The 49th minute, It's Ward, I think, number 23 for them. And I called it before it happened, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, to be fair. You said this is going to go in, by the way, and I said no, we'll concede after the 80th minute to make it a really, really miserable evening. And to be fair, you called it absolutely right. I'm not sure. I mean, is the wall set up correctly? We don't put people on the post, but it just seems it was a weird one to concede because, Holy's not diving for it. I don't know if he thinks it's going wide or just can't get across to it. Is the wall not set up correctly? I don't know, but as soon as that went in, sorry, game over. We're not coming back from that.
Looks unsighted, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it obviously doesn't deflect or anything. So I don't know what really it was a weird one. I guess you have to look at Holy and think to yourself, is he an error there? Has he set the wall up correctly? Good strike from the guy, but like I said, as soon as that went in, it was game over.
Yeah, and then there's a few more sides for Peterborough after that. 62, Isa's got an absolute. It's a sitter for me. It's attack down the Peterborough right. A lot of it went down Ward's side because I don't think he was. Again, it showed up why Kenlock's been playing in the last couple of matches because we just looks off the pace. Ward, there's a foul in the second. Where is it? I made a note of it. 83 minutes. I think he avoids a booking, which is smart, fortunate, but just totally looks a yard off it for me, Ward. I wouldn't be disappointed if he has a spell on the sidelines because I think he's gone. I think he's spent.
His legs are gone, haven't they? I mean, and it's harsh on Kenlock because Kenlock was probably our man of the match against Crewe, arguably. Did all right at the weekend again. I could see the logic of, I guess, bringing Chambers in for that bit of experience, but to swap both the fullbacks out, I thought was a bit. I would have just brought in Chambers and left Kenlock at left back because Kenlock's that kind of player we've heard it in the past who needs a bit of a run, to build up some good form and stuff. So I'm not sure taking him out tonight and then putting him back in maybe against Shrewsbury is the best course of action for him. But Ward just looks so far off it. He's not looked the same since that Achilles injury, has he? Against was it MK Dons, whoever it was. He seemed to come back quite quickly. I'm sure they said 5-6 weeks, and he was back in about 3 or 4, and he's never looked the same since.
No, more quality from our sports science department. 70 minutes, and it's more fun and games on the other side for Chambers. Smodic is too quick for him. Huddy kind of comes out and changes his mind and walks back, which is probably the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And a side foot kind of aiming for the far post from Smodic, which Holy gets kind of an open palm to. He's lucky that McGuinness actually running on doesn't head that inadvertently into his own net, but solid save. 73 minutes. Peterborough make a triple sub. Mikey texts the Blue Monday WhatsApp group and says, last time Peterborough made a triple substitution from winning position. They lost, I think he said.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Along come Ipswich. 76 minutes, there's a bit of panic in the area, all kinds of shenanigans going on. Eventually a shot is saved. 77, Smodic has a volley on the edge of the area, totally a mark straight at Holly, which is well saved. And then 88th minute, so, after basically not being in the match, of accepting that Peterborough are the dominant force, corner comes in.
It's a great save by Pym, isn't it? It's a really, really good save. Parrott's sharp, I guess that's the level he's been at, that quickness, and he gets his shot off really nicely, and it's a really, really good save. I don't think we deserved a point at all, so we would have been a smash and grab, but it's a really good hit by Parrott, showing his class there, showing his his reactions and his quickness. I guess if you train alongside Harry Kane for a long period of time, you're going to naturally pick some stuff up, but it's a really good save by Pym, and it would have been an unfair result to scrape a draw.
And that's your lot. And I was about to say, are there any positives there? I think Parrott's performance is probably...
Yeah, he looked all right in both the two, and he's okay on his own. He quite often drops deep to find the ball like any of our strikers do when they're playing one up front. But I guess he was a positive on Saturday, probably a bit of a positive again tonight, but apart from that, there wasn't much at all. And
there's nothing kind of... This is a setup. This is a short-term kind of just for this match kind of situation. There's nothing building here. Not that he should have been building for the last 2.5 years or whatever it is. But if you're going to shake the team up, if you're going to rotate a winning team, there's comments on this that we'll come to, then you kind of hope for something, a statement maybe, or something to happen. Would it have been much worse or better if he just kept with this winning team from Blackpool?
No, probably not. I mean, it would have been the same, wouldn't it? We never, like I think you said after the crew pod, we never get battered, do we, by anybody? We always lose by the odd goal here and there because we just don't create anything. So, you know, it wouldn't have mattered if we were for the same lineup tonight, maybe with Matheson at right back, but we just don't create enough to win games. We could have played 4-4-2 diamond like we did, 4-3-2-1-2 like we did, 4-4-2, 4-3-3. We just don't create enough to score goals. And if you don't create chances, you're not going to score goals. You're not going to win games. It doesn't matter what the formation is.
As we said, there's just an air of resignation about us, wasn't there, as well?
Well, as soon as that second goal goes in, it's game over.
Even the first goal, even after we scored, you kind of thought, you know, a better team that is well coached and drilled for matches such as this would have been better at shutting up shop as well. Mourinho teams or what have you, the art of the shit house and whatever, even Mick McCarthy, we still gave them too much of the ball in difficult areas, still let them have chances. We had fullbacks that were not quick enough to cover when they got behind us. So I'm just trying to think what was the plan tonight, apart from resting players maybe for a more hashtag winnable game on Saturday, which is not as easy as it perhaps was a couple of weeks ago. Shrewsbury actually on, I think, a decent run of form.
Did they win? Did they beat Sunderland tonight?
Let me check. Who were they playing? Sunderland, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. They were 2-1 up at one point.
They did, yeah. Shrewsbury won,
Okay.
and Shrewsbury are, where are they? They've won the last two.
Okay.
They've won 3 out of the last 4. And they lost 1-0 to Crewe in between those games. But I'm just thinking, what you've kind of built momentum from Blackpool.
Yeah.
A lot of us were arguing that Blackpool is kind of, said at the start, false dawn. Beat the crap teams. No offense to Blackpool, but beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and then revert back to type for the. We have learned. Marcus Evans has learned nothing new, has he? So to a lot of people's comments, which we'll get onto in a sec, why wouldn't you change it? You've not learned anything new, have you?
No, not at all. But we've not learned anything new now for the last, coming up 3 months probably. Was it mid-December or so? The Hull and Charlton games, I can't remember when that was, the double-header week we had. Since then, every game is the same. We scrape wins against the lower sides, often poorly. The likes of Burton at home, late winner, and Shrewsbury at home, late winner. We play poorly, and then we go away to a team and we just don't turn up. But also, what's really frustrating is that we don't seem to change anything really in game, do we? After we scored and Peterborough started getting in behind our fullbacks really, really easily. You're thinking then Lambert will say, right, okay, so Ward and Chambers are struggling a bit. Let's change the formation and give them a bit of protection. But we just don't do anything. We let the opposition just keep doing what they're doing for the rest of the game, and inevitably, eventually, they score from it. It's ridiculous. Mick, for example, do you remember the Villa game away when we won 1-0 with Emir Hughes? Mick changed. Ben always talks about it on the pod. Mick changed systems about 3 or 4 times during that match, and he does things in game to influence the game. Lambert does nothing, and then just comes out at the end and says, played really well. Like he's taken a wonder goal or something to beat us. But it's so frustrating how nothing changes between minute 1 and minute 90. It's ridiculous.
And the trouble we've got is that you and I have to come on here and talk about it, and it is joking aside, it is Groundhog Day, isn't it? And that's the depressing thing now of being an Ipswich fan, is you kind of get the little upturn on Saturday, and maybe we'll sneak a win against Shrewsbury on Saturday.
Well, it'll happen again. We'll probably get a point against Shrewsbury, and then I guarantee, a week from now we'll be sat here. We'll have beaten Northampton 2-1, 1-0, maybe. Probably not played amazing, and we'll say the same things. And then whenever we play a top side next, we'll lose again. It's ridiculous.
Just let us go, Marcus. Time to go. Jonathan Hammond, 40 or 50 times. This is, I think, an answer to my question at the start. He would probably make about Groundhog Day for Paul Lambert. 40 or 50 different times. He would probably make 40 or 50 different starting lineups. He hadn't got a clue. Ross agrees, tactically adept.
Yeah, doesn't do anything in the game.
Stevie, I think this captures a lot of feeling. I'm sick and tired of being humbled by Peterborough, even the likes of Swindon. Predictable failure to build on a win or beat a top 8 team. It's not a good enough end of. We've gone nowhere in 2 years. Yeah,
we've gone backwards in 2 years.
Preaching to the choir. Scott Moore, does this result prove that Ipswich will never progress to the required? the required standard is championship. Let's be honest, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you can't beat the best teams in League One, there's not a chance in how you're going to do anything in the championship.
Nope.
Let alone if playoffs is the only real bet at the moment, isn't it? And as Joe,
come on, if we finish sixth, let's say the season finished tonight and we're sixth, and we're playing Peterborough over 2 legs, none of us can possibly say with hand on our heart we would expect anything than a defeat. Do you think anybody would think, apart from maybe deluded, Lambert would go into Evans with his little notes of things to twist his mind, but do you think any true fan would say if we finish in the playoffs, we've got a chance of winning this? Not a chance. Not a chance. But
we've said this before. I mean, this is like, if you're looking for Groundhog Day podcasts or live streams, there is nothing that I think we've said. Maybe it's the tone that's a little bit different. This is just exasperation. This is frustration, and because this is the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting a different outcome. Now, this is where we are at now, and I tweeted this a few weeks ago. Marcus Evans, I fear, is going to drag this decision as long as he can up to the season ticket renewal, and then something will happen then, because the cynic in me says, well, he's all about season ticket sales.
Yeah.
You've got to build the frustration anger. It's a risky strategy, don't get me wrong, because enough people are cancelling season tickets right now. But suddenly all of that anger and frustration, which is focused largely on Lambert, suddenly goes away and everyone's suddenly happy. But
and he gives Kieran Dyer 5 games, and Kieran is the poster boy of the season ticket campaign. And maybe it's going to be a tactical thing. He's going to wait till mid-March, whatever, to put us out of our misery. But I guess with the salary cap change, I know we'll come on to it later. With the salary cap change, it's now less vital to get out this season with the Armageddon that would have been coming. So I guess maybe that's one saving grace.
Evening to Zach, utterly baffling tactics. Dazelle plays well at a 10 on Saturday, moved to left over 4. Then we exposed 2 35-year-old fullbacks in a narrow system against a team who likes to play wide. Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. Alex, Peterborough managed to play right on that pitch. It's not an excuse for us. I don't think we're writing too much into the pitch, albeit Peterborough have obviously got more experience playing it than we do. But I don't think the pitch was a factor tonight, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Ginger Eagle, I'm bored of getting bored. Yeah.
That's kind of where we're all at, though, isn't it, as a fan base?
FNZ football, evening to Ash. I've never seen a side look so comfortable at 2-1. Yeah, hell yeah! I think that's, as I said, it was like us. That 2-1 is kind of like a victory. It's like a moral victory. We haven't beaten us by 2 or 3 guys. So
and that's now the level.
George, should have capitalised more on a good start. What are you thinking on this, Seb?
Well, obviously we scored early, so you'd like to think then, let's have a go at them and see what they're made of, see if they'll buckle like we do. But we just sat off, didn't we? Clearly, I think maybe we were shocked to score a first half goal. Lambert was clearly shocked that we'd scored in the first half, and we just reverted to type fairly quickly. Going 1-0 up after 5 minutes with 2 strikers on the pitch and Bishop in a number 10 role bursting forward. You've got some decent attacking options there. Why not have a proper go at them and see what they can do instead of suddenly, we start to drop deep and the midfield starts to get overrun and they start getting in behind our fullbacks and we just sort of accept it. We don't have a go.
Ross, this league is pony and we're a donkey in it. Spaghetti bolognese. Lambert's no clue, and anyone with any dignity would have resigned by now. I guess I would just
money. Yeah.
Gesture if I were you. Oscar Tebbett, I'm going to trust your stats here. Played 9, lost 9 against the top 7 sides.
Probably
right. Evening to Anthony, same again. Yeah, agree with that emoji. Here we go. Peter's 0912. I don't bother watching if we're playing teams above us. As a result, it's utterly predictable. Yeah.
We have a mate, don't we? The 4 of us normally watch it together for the home games because you guys are all season ticket holders. But we've got a mate now who just will not watch away games against the top side because he knows what's going to happen and he's right. We're the idiots that pay 10 quid every week.
Waste of a tenner, isn't it? Neil Perks, surely enough is enough now. We should be challenging the top 2 with our squad. This is so predictable. Your thoughts on the challenging with the top 2, sir?
Last year, I would have agreed with that, but I think the division became stronger with the likes of Hull and stuff coming down. I think we should definitely be upper echelons of the playoffs. I think our natural place is about maybe 4th or 5th based on the squad that we've got, but we're just so far off it. It's ridiculous.
And as Joe says, a good coach can elevate that third, second concept. Yeah.
And as the goalkeeping coach says, if you can't do that, you might as well pack it in.
Michael, just cannot see how Lambert thought the system would work. Yeah, I think we agree with that. Jordan on topic, which is good. I'm relieved that the salary cap has been dropped, but I think Evans are now more inclined to wait until a break clause is triggered. Presumably,
yeah. I mean, I guess it's now not like I said, it's not the end of the world now if we don't go up this season. I mean, if the salary cap had still been in place, we were facing Armageddon given the squad that was out of contract. But I guess now, I presume it will go back to the turnover percentage rules, and now we can maybe look to offer the likes of Edwards, Bishop, the ones we want to keep. There will still be a huge transitional period in the summer. You'd like to think that we will do a lot of releasing, etc. But at least now the ones that you want to keep, that you can identify as taking us forward, potentially now you can offer them competitive salaries, and they won't just disappear off to the championship and the like. At least it's not the mess it could have been.
Yeah, the unleveling of the playing field against the likes of us and Sunderland and Portsmouth.
Yeah, I mean, the likes of Gwion, for example, Gwion Edwards, he's probably a player we would agree. He's not been great recent weeks, but we would all agree he's one who can take us forward next year. There was no chance he'd have signed the deal with the salary cap rules, paying him $2,500 a week, whatever it was. At least now you can have a sensible conversation, and you can hopefully look to tie down those players and build a team, going forward.
Yep. Syndra, 4-4-2 time can work very good if you get hold of the ball and establish play up the field, which was, to be fair, what we did in the first 5 minutes to get that goal. Lambert went opposite though and sat back with no width to counter. Baffling.
Yep.
Chris Boyd, this Town team can't handle this league. We just aren't managed and set up well enough. Only Evans can move this club forward. Lambert isn't going anywhere otherwise, sadly. Your thoughts about, are we too naive? Are we, ignoring the kind of pattern of play and the tactical setup mentally? Is there an element of self-entitlement that maybe pervades the club? You've got a lot of players who've played in the Championship, not many who've come up through the lower leagues. Is there just an expectation that we're Ipswich and we turn up and we win? That was certainly that
was it last year. It was definitely what it was last year. Even the fans, we were guilty of that. We saw this of a case of we'll go to a few nice new grounds, we'll win the league, which the start we had last year and this year kind of showed that we would do. Maybe that has crept down to the players. Maybe they thought, you look around the dressing room, you've got some quality in that dressing room, but for whatever reason they just can't do it out on the pitch. It's a mental thing. But then Ipswich Town have been, bottle jobs, for want of a better word, certainly since we've been following since 2002 probably onwards, hasn't they? Let's be honest.
Four attempts in the playoffs as well, so don't forget.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Oh, Bit, come on. Why did he make so many changes? Wow. Didn't realise that us fans just simply want a team that can compete in the league, not least to everyone who's above us. It's depressing. Yeah. Ross, we didn't attempt anything but hoof the ball first off. It was so poor. Robbie Bobson won. Hopefully he's asked the reasoning behind changing a winning side. Chambers and Ward not good enough. I think Ward, neither of them particularly. Yeah.
They didn't cover themselves in glory, did they? I mean, but they had absolutely no protection in front of them. So, Downs was at the base, wasn't he? Dizelle and Ward are either side, and they just weren't offering them any kind of support.
Hayden, replace Lambert. Who'd want to come in? No one of any standing, not attracted to candidates. Well, I don't know.
You say that. Did you listen to when Nick Ames was on the Naked Footy show about probably a month or two ago now? And obviously he's a respected journalist, and he said, amongst footballing circles, Ipswich is still considered to be an attractive club. I guess you get a lot of patience from the owner. You don't really get too much interference from the owner. Okay, you're not going to get any money, but he is probably certainly going to leave you alone to run things. And compared to some clubs, that's probably still very, very favourable.
Yeah,
you got to think, it's a one club town. We always hear how good the training facilities are when somebody joins. Portman Road's a 30,000 seater stadium. If somebody could just get it right, it could be immense.
Cowleys. Peter Bashford, taking Emery list to a club of ours. To Ipswich, anyone who works for the players on the mental side of the game. Here.
Not for the last 20 years.
No, exactly right. I think they did in the Burley era. I think there was definitely. I think the players went to a sport. I remember. Must have been the Wembley documentary by the EADT, or maybe certainly one of Burley's players mentioned that, I think, on Twitter at some point in the last few months. Quiet man. Taylor taking post-match conference thoughts. Back to the same.
Lambert's a dick. Yeah, he only talks to the big boys, isn't he? If it's BBC Scotland or Sky Sport, no problem. I'll give them a soundbite. Local media, nah, you're all right.
Mikey, what does 24 foul say about our display out of possession? You can make allowances if you're good on the ball, but we couldn't pass water tonight. Yeah, I think we tried to shit house tonight, didn't we? We're just not very good at it.
Couldn't do it. Yeah, we just couldn't do it, could we?
What else have we got? Is your app broken? Chambers and Ward are rated more than. So is
that's the ratings at the start, but isn't that across the season?
Yeah, to be fair, Zach, if I go back to I think he's talking about. I think this is ratings possibly for season, but this was before kickoff. This is my screen grab. I prepare in advance. It might not sound it or feel like it, but so that was before the match had kicked off. Sully's back. Love you guys. POs supporters a lot. POs?
No, he corrects himself. He says pod and supporters the lot.
Yes, he does. Thank you. Love you guys, but I really can't take this anymore. Call me when Paul Lambert's gone. Yeah, he won't be alone. There'll be a lot of people who are thinking similar. Pitts is still going.
And the concern is obviously, we can't go to games because of lockdown. People are paying season ticket direct debits. If it stays like this, people are going to find different things to do on a Saturday. When the world goes back to normal eventually, people are going to think to themselves, do I want to spend £600-700 on a season ticket when, I go to the zoo or go to the park, etc. It's a real worry that people will just become so bored of Ipswich Town that we'll go to 8,000-9,000 fans when the world gets back to normal.
You could go to the pub and not have to go to the football just before 3:00.
Yeah. Just go and sit in the Greyhound for 3 hours would be great. Yeah. Just
give your money to the Greyhound and the Woolpack and other pubs are available. You can tell which bits of town I hang out in. Fouls were given by the whistle happy ref. I spent a lot of time wondering what he was blowing at. Awful all over. Oh, awful team section. Pitch ref, bench. It's beyond a joke now. Bits. Hang in there, bits. Run for by run, bottom of the league. Burton scored more points against the top 6. Please tell me that's not true, Adju. I mean, it doesn't sound. It sounds like something that is totally conceivable. So, there you go. Ginger Eagle Troy Parrott must be wondering what he's come to. Not Tony Parrott, as the posh commentators called him. Yeah, poor Troy Parrott.
You said that part way through, didn't you? You said it. Is he thinking, "Wow, what am I doing here?"
Yeah, I could be hanging out at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah, he could be on the bench. Could be on the bench for the Spurs. Yeah, he could be. Yeah.
Richard Wilson. I'll avoid the obvious jokes. Totally outplayed by Peterborough yet again. Pathetically embarrassing. Please, somebody put a stop to this. Michael Warner. If we're going to go long, why did Holy keep kicking the ball out of touch? No, you kind of bring him into the team for those long balls, and quality just not there. What else we've got here? Andrew, I feel we need to change formations that actually suit our strength. Our strikers aren't good enough to play alone. Often, like I said, ditch 4-3-3, go 4-4-2, change the fullbacks too. I mean, I quite like Barrett and Norwood. I mean, we didn't get to see a huge amount of them, but
yeah, I mean, our best form in this league was playing 4-4-2 with Jackson and Norwood up front, wasn't it? Is he just overcomplicating things too much? If you play 4-4-2 and put Edwards on one wing and Thomas, I guess, is an out-and-out winger on the other wing, and put Matheson and Kenlock as fullbacks to get overlaps and supporting, would it be that difficult to try it for a bit?
Adam, honestly believe if we had a magic of motivate and set the team up correctly, we'd be top 2. Still, we have a manager who just puts the team out and hopes ability will see us through. I think that is
spot on. Absolutely spot on. If we win, it's in spite of Lambert, isn't it? It's not because of him.
Yeah. Andrew again, such a shame Hawkins is out as well in a 4-4-2 spot.
Yeah, that'd be good. Hold the ball up and bring others into play, etc. Yeah, when he was playing as a 1 earlier in the season, he was often getting isolated and struggling. But in a 2, that could be a crucial weapon. How long is he out for? Was it 6 weeks? About 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. So
no, he's done for the season. Yeah.
Done for the season.
Yeah.
Jack Merrim, Matheson, and cannot seem to make the back 5 look good. When we have OP at fullback, we look disjointed and organised. Poor management for you, no progression. Poor. Yeah. Harrison, I've seen your comment. Welcome to the live stream. Unfortunately, I would put your comment up, but it's got a naughty word that we tried to.
Family
Maybe every
show,
now and then
as best as it can be.
we drop in an F-bomb every now and then, but I think we'll. But evening to you, Harrison. If you want to, you might have a comment further down which I haven't seen yet, so we'll definitely put something of yours up. Matthew, this is a really great point. Interesting in what the two teams have invested in transfer fees and scouting at Peterborough. It's been amazing. Yeah, this is a big difference as well between these two clubs. When Peterborough sell, they sell for big fees, don't they?
Yeah, but they've got plans. Yeah, so they've identified Clark Harris, before Tony goes, and they've probably identified the next one for as Clark Harris goes to the Championship. It's they don't just they look multiple windows down the line. They don't just get to a window and think, oh, what do we need? Let's go and get that for 6 months, and then we'll get that guy for 6 months, and then in the summer we'll try and work it all out again. Joe said the other day on the pod, this is Lambert's 5th window. And we're still taking on loans to see us through the next, 6 months or so. Wouldn't it be great to do some proper long-term strategic recruiting, identify the areas we need people, bring people in to develop them, and then, if you do sell them, reinvest it, identify your targets later on down the line, like what we used to do under Burley. You develop Kieran Dyer, sell him, bring in John McGreal, Gary Croft, Jermaine Wright, Marcus Stewart. It's not rocket science. We're just so reactive and short-termism. We just try and fix something for 6 months and hope that we stumble across a winning formula that maybe might get us promoted, and come the summer we can look at it again. But it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Wouldn't it be lovely to have a proper director of football like Barry Fry does, who does proper transfer window research and preparation? Barry Fry, need to watch. There's a big Ron Manager, I think it is, but there's a Barry Fry clip where he negotiates a transfer deal. I'll retweet it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Evening to Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, for the super chat at £5. Really appreciate that. Give Chris a follow as well, because you'll get these kind of insights, which is, he says, I won't bore you with the numbers, but we love the numbers, Chris, although the numbers are probably telling a more increasingly disappointing picture. I won't bore you with the numbers, but I've just run the simulations, and the chances of playoffs are now the same. It's finishing in the bottom half. Chris, thank you for really kind donation and support of the pod, and thank you for your insights. Give Chris a follow on, I think, Ipswich Town Live, I think it is. Chris, give us your handle in the comments, and we'll give you a Twitter shout out. But thank you again for that. What else have we got here? This is the trouble. I now skim through all the comments, and there's loads here, guys. So please keep them coming. Want some predictions for Shrewsbury at the weekend, by the way. Any thoughts on the salary cap as well? Keep those coming in. Yeah, Seb, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Spaghetti Barnaise again. If Flamengo does get sacked, who do you want to replace him? It's the same names, isn't it? I was Paul Cook. Now I'm the Cowley. Having seen the Twitter stuff the Cowley brothers have put out when they took over Lincoln, Cowley brothers. George here, does the EAT need to go in harder on Evans and Lambert? I mean, what can they do? They've called, isn't it? Yeah, they've called for Lambert to go. They can't really do much more in that respect. And we have to be realistic. You can't call for Evans to go because no one is going to buy Ipswich Town Football Club. So I think, to be fair, they've gone as hard as they can do. And if Lambert's not talking to them, or he's saying, "Oh, I've told Dan, the media guy, I'm only talking about the game," then it's going to be pretty hard for them to get anything out of him for the remainder of the season. But to be fair, they've done the hard part and called for him to move on. Yeah. Francois, we seem reactive rather than proactive, as Seb said. Good side of the past. We knew our lineup, formation, and tactics. I have no idea how we're really trying to play. And that was the second half. I couldn't tell you, apart from Parrott up front, and the back. There wasn't any cohesion, structure, words like that. So it's just 11 players on the pitch, wasn't it? Yeah, and hope they stumble across something. There's no plan, but we've been saying this now for we played okay. I guess it was after Christmas till about February, the relegation season. We could sort of see parts of a plan, but it was the last 2 years in League One. There's been absolutely nothing. It just changes it every couple of weeks. Chris said exactly the same thing. What was the formation in the second half? Yeah, no. It was players running around. I think it was 4-2-3-1, but with Bishop out as a attacking right winger, wasn't it? Which is stupid. It was play what you want. Everyone was doing had the Alan Judge role in the second half, I think. Yeah. Michael, even the Peterborough radio guy said that Lambert had to change the system after. But when commentators who can't get Troy Parrott's name correct are spotting that Lambert's tactics are inferior, I think that there's something wrong there. Bob Lockhart, yeah, Stuart Taylor doing post-match with Brunner said, of course he did.
Of course he did. Played well. Pitch was a leveler. We go again.
We deserve something out of the game. Deluded. Yeah. Gary Lovell having a dig at Peterborough should invest in the profitable pitch instead of letting teams attempt to play on their rugby pitch. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it was. It was in a poor condition, but it didn't really affect the game. I don't think. I mean, you and me were at Tranmere last January, weren't we? And there was one time there where the ball fell into the beach pitch and just didn't move. None of that kind of stuff seemed to happen tonight. So, although it was in a poor condition, I don't think we can. I don't think we can use that as a reason.
George, I'm 17 and 18 Ipswich Stagnate from Championship to League One. I have no memory of us being Norwich. I fear for the beach. Absolutely right. I mean, we should go and watch the academy and go and watch the women's team.
Yeah,
right. That's so much. Yeah, that's where the excitement and the quality is, and the passion as well. So, George, I sympathise. Can only sympathise. I was going to say the Premier League wasn't all that, but it was much better than Division 3. I'll be honest. What else have we got? Chris Boyd, if we beat Shrews 1-0 on Saturday and Lambert's taken 6 points from 9, that is him secure for the season if he isn't ready. He's us to shine. He's happy to be shy. It's all. I thought it was 10 o'clock and I thought I could get away with one. So I'm going to quickly hide that one. But I think we agree with the sentiment there, Chris. Ashley, anyone who messages saying Rich was right is always going to get put on when I'm in charge. And we look like a beaten team. Everyone, yeah. It just like, oh, what do we do now? Oh, crap. We're still crap. Yeah, quite bad. Taylor reckons we played really well since the Swindon game.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Andrew, hard to feel proud of a team when all you've seen is David Dye in terms is crap football every game. Yeah, it is difficult. I think there was I don't know whether it was a debate on Twitter or maybe the WhatsApp group. I think it was a Twitter debate. I think Ben actually put it out. Who is the one player that you are proud who represents your club at the moment?
Tumbleweed emoji going through it. Yeah. Yeah. Troy Parrott, yeah.
Neil, big if Kane Vincent Young does return next season, how about back for Vincent Young, Wilson and Wilson? Yeah, I've got no issue with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd have that. I'd have Wilson personally if he was fit. I think I'd have him in more games this season. But yeah, I think pinning all our hopes on KVY, who's played 9 games last year for us. Hopefully, he can try and get fit before the end of the season, have a real good pre-season. But I'm not optimistic on that one.
George has said this spot on Seb. So anyone who bigs up Seb as well, I'm less likely to put them up than if you say I'm correct, but I won't be spending my shin and watching Ipswich away next year.
And that's the real concern, isn't it? George just said he's followed Ipswich, he's never seen anything good, and with much as it pains us to say, Norwich up the road probably going back up and doing well, all these fans incentives. I guess you've got West Ham now looking like a decent side in the Premier League, nice new stadium. There's a real worry that people who would naturally start following Ipswich from a young age and follow them like we did, through to adulthood, are going to get their heads turned elsewhere, and it is a real problem the club are going to have to face soon.
And we had some awesome away days when we were in university, didn't we?
Yeah.
Some Midlands away days where lots of drinking of VK Orange and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you don't want to miss out on those. The football was actually the trouble. Was the football? We'd just been relegated from. This is going to age us. We'd just been relegated from the Prem.
But it was exciting. It was Joe Royal, wasn't it? It was 3 really exciting years. If you score 3, we'll score 4 kind of football. And there's just absolutely nothing at the moment. If you were growing up now, if you were 7, 8 years old, and you're thinking, if you had a kid in Ipswich and you're trying to get your kid into football, it's going to be a really, really hard sell.
Just go buy them merch and don't actually take them to the match. I think that's probably what Joe's trying to do at the moment. Simon, I would still follow the town on a park pitch in Ipswich in a local league. It's in the blood. We need to pull together on and off the pitch. This season is over. Mid-table awaits. We just need a focal point, don't we, Simon? And Seb, who is there? I made the point about who is the player that we want to. We're proud that represents the club. Where are the figureheads like Simon Milton, for example? Who is the person that no one is? I feel really sorry because I've been quite critical of him the last couple of weeks. But Leo Neal is not a figurehead that people. lots of quotes and lots of articles and stuff like that. And he's done something with TWTD exclusively this week, which is good, albeit maybe
Lambert must be fuming.
Lee
O'Neill is now banned from press conferences.
But if Marcus Evans does a press release, accidentally tells us to be careful what we wish for, doesn't really understand football but pretends he does. Who have we got? No one likes Lambert anymore.
Nothing, in the old days you'd have, Sheepshanks would be, walking around shaking people's hands before kickoff. There's the story where he's in the bar in Helsingborg, people are buying him drinks and stuff. You had that public face who would come out and say things, but we're just faceless, aren't we? I saw today that O'Neill said Evans is trying to be involved as much as he can, but he can't be there as much. It seems to me the whole club sort of can't do anything until the day Evans sort of shows up, and signs the checks and has the reviews, and then he goes away again. So the whole club goes stagnant again for another few weeks before his next visit. It's just faceless. There's absolutely nothing to get behind. Yeah,
and nothing is going to change. There was a point above until Evans gets his acting gear.
Yeah, nothing.
I think we said this maybe on the last one of these. What does he get out of this? Ipswich being stagnating in the third division basically is just ruining his chances of getting any return on his investment. I just don't get it. Just employ someone who can run the club for you.
Yeah.
You don't even need to turn up, Marcus.
Just employ a football person who has the authority to make decisions, sign the checks, etc. And they can just run it as one of his businesses, and he never has to set foot in the place or see them. Leave all football operations to that person, and then in his ideal world, I guess, back to the Championship, and maybe he could look to try and shift us. But it's bizarre how he seems to want to take more and more sort of influence over certain areas with no football knowledge or background whatsoever.
To quote a chart, he doesn't know what he's doing, does he?
No, not at all.
Help me out, Seb. I was having a drink there.
Sorry. Expand further.
Chris Rand, ITFC_live. Also making an appearance tomorrow on the Naked Footy show with our mate GB. Good luck with that, Chris. At least the Naked Footy show is only about 25 minutes long. So we're doing well though. We've still, as long as you're with us, we'll keep going.
Misery loves company.
Exactly right. So give Chris a follow, and follow Naked Footy and ask him a question as well for tomorrow. So cheers for that, Chris. Neil, Evans gave Lambert that contract to be a scapegoat. If he sacks him, then pressure back on Evans. Interesting. Bits. This is a good one. At what stage of the season do you think we'd have sacked Lambert if COVID and not having a problem road was full of angry fans? Really important point, this.
Yeah, very. I mean, I guess if we lost to Coventry 1-0, didn't we? And we had a few more tougher games before the run-in got easier. So I think he probably would have been given last season. However, the second, was it MK Don's last game of the season, meant to be, the day after that, he should have been fired for taking us to 11th.
Should have been sacked before Wickham on New Year's Day last year, but
no, because at that stage, to be fair, we are still in the top, probably in the top 4 at that stage, weren't we?
Yeah, relegation form, Seb. Relegation form. Foxy Z Blue, not convincing the Caddy brothers. Pearson, if he's mad enough. He was on the Quest highlight show over the weekend, Nigel Pearson.
He'll have higher designs than us, surely, won't he? He must be thinking he can get a Championship job.
Ties to Suffolk, I believe, but
is he?
Yeah, he's
everyone hunting his wolves in the countryside.
I don't know, but he would scare the crap out of me if I was a player.
Yeah.
Even on the EFL Quest show, he's just really intense. He had some weird sleeveless jumper kind of thing on, and he was sat right forward in Colin Murray's face, and I kind of thought, well, maybe he'll shake some apathy out of us. I just wonder whether they look at Evans and think, no thanks.
Not for me. Yeah, not for me.
Here we go. Chambers fist pump. In League One, are we going to turn into Wolves or Bradford?
Well, at this stage, there's no doubt we are becoming Bradford, aren't we? The trajectory is just downwards. That's the problem.
Scott, a genuine question from a non-Ipswich fan. Good evening to you. If you're still in 58 minutes and 50 seconds into the coverage, and you're not an Ipswich fan, but glad to have you on board. What do you guys class as success now for this season? I guess
But for this season, well, we are probably a lower end championship side. That's probably our natural order in things, isn't it? I would say staying up, yeah, brilliant, yeah. Getting a point away against the top 6 side, that's our success barometer at the moment. No, we are probably a lower championship side in the natural order of things, I would say. So success for me still has to be promotion. We are a big club at this level. Don't get me wrong, we don't deserve it based on this season at all. But I think that all comes down to a couple of things that you could change if you fire the manager quite quickly. But success for Ipswich now is probably, I'd imagine, lower mid to lower championship, developing nurturing the academy, selling players on, and looking to invest. That's where I say our natural part in the pecking order is. Would you agree with that, or what do you think?
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just
the voice of apathy.
But it's just depressing to think that's now the most we can.
But it is, because we can't compete with we can't compete with the parachute payments and stuff. We have to adopt the Brentford model, don't we? And use our academy. They haven't got an academy, but use proper recruitment to develop players and
build an infrastructure, recruit the right people. Show some ambition.
As much as it pains me to say, we probably should look at copying Norwich. I know they've got the parachute payments, but the stuff they've done, they've scoured the overseas market, developed the academy. They do great stuff with the fan relations. I know. It
was so depressing. Being real, sold Madison and then went up. Norwich were on the verge.
We finished above them, didn't we? Mixed last season, we finished above them.
And you just got to get the right people. You just in the right positions.
Yeah. Delia Smith knows that she doesn't know how to run a football club, so she employs the CEO. I can't think of his name. The CEO guy from Celtic. And he just does it all for them. Brilliant.
What is the? I forgot.
Totally. I can't remember what he's called.
I'm gonna have to look at. I'll keep looking out and stuff like that because he's the kind of person that we need. What else have we got here? Michael, I'm now hanging out the washing in bright sunshine. All right, -3 and
-2 and snow in Suffolk for them. Nothing up here but snow in Suffolk.
Well, a really important point here. Are we going to get to the point where local press will travel to away games? What's the point when managers not doing post-match press? Might as well watch an iFollow.
Yeah, or they might as well just leave as soon as the final whistle goes, because there's no point hanging around. You could just clip any post-match interview from the last 6 months and just send it out the next day as what was said. We'd all believe it.
Stuart Webber.
That's it, yeah, Stuart Webber, yeah.
Good old Google. What else have we got here? We're going to wrap up in a minute. We just need some predictions for Saturday. Adam Elvin started. Saturday, Town lose. Lambert loses his ish. I don't know what that is. Glasgow kisses a member of the press, gets 6 months. Butcher and Dyer come in. We get promoted after days. Well, at least it'll be exciting.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Chambo's best point. When you talk about players we're proud of, when did we last have a manager we were proud of? Mick, there was a lot of pride in Mick when he kept us up, and maybe that.
And the following season, the season we built on it, and the playoff season. It was only the first half of Mick's reign. I was fairly proud of him as our manager.
Jason, do you have a plan B for when we run out of original things to say? No, we just riff, Jason. But always welcome to hear your opinions and give us. Here we go. Is there an argument for local media to send us back? There you go. But ITFC is less subtle to comply at that game. Yeah, I think we were starting to get to that point now, aren't we?
Well, there is no point listening to the post match because it's just the same every week.
But maybe, maybe that's the next. Someone asked earlier about should the EADT do more? Not covering the club or not falling into this pattern of, you are negative or I'm not going to speak to you. Feels like I think the supporters would actually back them, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think they would. Everyone's fed up with the situation. Everyone's fed up of Lambert and thinks he's incredibly arrogant the way he talks to them. Even when he does appear, post-match, the way he talks to them is awful. Yeah, he was butting heads with Stu, wasn't he? I can't think what game it was. Was it Plymouth, I think? Said, you're about the negativity, etc. Oxford, yeah, sorry. The one last week where he says, I'm only going to talk about the game. He treats them with absolute disdain, which is just, they're human beings. Be respectful, for God's sake. Stop being a dick. But he can't help himself, can he? He can't help himself.
I'm clipping that. Just stop being a dick. Simon, can the podcast arrange to send a rep to meet Leo Neal and us and challenge him for constructive questions? I don't think the club would let us anywhere near Leo Neal, would they? No. I don't think Leo Neal would even acknowledge that we exist.
No.
But we'll It's been a while since we did an interview with someone. Ray Crawford, the last one by Dave. I think.
Oh, you can try and get Leo Neal. Good luck with that.
It's been, well, we'll ask, but yeah, I'm not going to hold up much hope on that one. Andrew Sams, good.
Shouldn't the official supporters club be doing that? Shouldn't they be getting, pushing for stuff like this?
They don't care.
Right.
Get some Flying Dutchmen in again. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, Spitz, my vision of success would be to mirror what Brentford are doing.
Yeah.
Exciting seasons mixed with the Creamer Championship. I mean, that's ultimately where we should be, and we're just so far off that now. Simon met Sheepshanks at uni. He was open and honest. Was he in the bar? Was he on the Purple Nasty? Thank you, Lewis. Yeah, I cheated and Googled it, so thank you for that. So yeah, let's start getting some predictions here. Rob, 3 points. We'll have a contract extension. A year for every goal we score. Bits will lose Saturday if he puts the same team out. I think it's got to be the same team near enough to Blackpool, doesn't it, Seb?
Yeah, surely the 2 fullbacks will come in. It would be ridiculous not to.
Happy for 2-2 draw at Shrewsbury. Interesting to know why, Simon. Is that because you don't think we can win it?
A point away from home.
Saturday, lose with today's team. With Saturdays, yeah, not sure that Saturday lose with today's team. Let's go with that.
That means, if we play tonight's team, we'll lose. If we play Saturday's team against Blackpool, we'll win.
Got you.
Which is probably quite accurate, yeah.
1-1 Saturday, just to bore us some more.
That's what I think, yeah, 1-1.
Don't you think if we have the same team that we have on Saturday, we'd have won because we were fighting more and attacking more?
Tonight, I mean, I guess there's an argument that the fullbacks wouldn't have been overrun as much, but Peterborough are a good side. They were so much more clinical in the final third and stuff. I think no matter given how we've played against top sides for the last 2 years, I think you could have played anything and we wouldn't have got anything out tonight.
Sean, why does no one internally pull Lambert in line? Imagine what the comments would do with him.
Well, clearly the power he's got behind the scenes, he's got everyone wrapped around his little finger, hasn't he? He must go in there with his phone. He has a weekly phone call with Evans, and he must just list the reasons why things are going badly. And Evans just still obviously continues to buy it. It's crazy.
Foxy Z Blue, fans not interested in Lambo and staff. PS press conference should boycott. Simple. I think that there's a bit of a groundswell now of that, isn't there? Particularly after tonight, if the chat's anything to go by. George ADT should turn up to press conferences, then pack up and say they don't fancy doing it today as soon as Lambert and Taylor said, yeah, let's get a bit snarky and a bit. So why not? I mean, what have we got to lose? No, everyone's pissed off. So
at least it'll be entertaining.
Have a bit of gamble, Andy and Stu. There you go. Have a bit of a laugh with it. Why not? Andrew Stam's 1-1 snore ball draw. Last minute equaliser for us. Simon just want to enjoy a good performance, celebrate twice. Fair enough, even though we concede twice. Maybe we can't keep a clean sheet. And Neil, I wonder if it's going to be a bit like Crew again. Foxy is Ed Blue. I draw at best. Won't be watching, won't be listening to it. Painting my nails. Might do the same, to be honest. Let me put the league table up, Seb, just to finish things off.
Do we have to?
Just to depress us a little bit more. So Lincoln lead the way. 52 points, Hull just behind them. I think Doncaster Fleetwood, when I took the screenshot, was still ongoing. If I can find some results, I can maybe talk folk through them. That was 3-1 to Fleetwood in the end. So Donny lost out to Fleetwood there. Is that what that says on there? Yeah,
that's why they're asterisks, I guess, saying they're still playing.
Yeah, let me see if I can do a swift screenshot.
Look how far that gap is coming now. I mean, in his first statement, didn't he? He said we're still in touching distance of automatic promotion. But look at it now. I mean, we're 10 points off, albeit games in hand, but we're 10 points off automatic, and we're now 4 points off Charlton in sixth. It's just the gap is getting ever wider.
What's your prediction for Saturday there, Seb? You can see Shrewsbury.
I think we will draw. I think 1-1, and then I think we will beat Northampton, and we're in exactly the same position as we are now. It's not going to change.
Let me stick the right league table up, and then maybe we can sign off with some accurate conversation. But it's not going to be any better. I just wanted to put the correct results there. So there's 30 top six, with Doncaster being defeated by Simon Grayson's Fleetwood. There you go. We all pre-proved
Benoit Nassian's Fleetwood.
But I think the issue for me is Plymouth are 1 point behind.
Yeah.
Fleetwood, I guess both have played a bit more than we have.
We've got games in hand, haven't we? But when you're averaging 1.4 or something points per game, games in hand aren't really that much of a barometer in this scenario, are they?
But Shrewsbury feeling pretty confident for themselves at the moment.
Well, if they just come off a good result against Sunderland, yeah, they should be.
And in terms of form at the moment, actually Shrewsbury are better away than they are. But they've only lost one of the last 5 at home. So Shrewsbury are probably on a little bit of a run at the moment. So
no mugs. The league table's in a false position.
They are, yeah. Let's just do a last few comments before we sign off for the evening. George, reckon there'll be a change if we lose? I don't think there will. I think it'll be March before anything happens.
It'll be season ticket renewal time.
Unless someone turns us over 5 or 6.
But that doesn't happen, does it? We always lose by 1.
Unless conditional, hypothetical, Seb. Go with it. Chill out. Bits. Blue Monday Live when COVID is over, please. Absolutely. So we had everything all but arranged. We'd agreed a date collectively. I think we were going to go back to the same venue as well. That will absolutely happen when we can all be in close proximity to each other. We might do something virtual as well. We might do kind of like one of these, but maybe get you guys on the Zoom chat and stuff like that and do it properly. So keep an eye on that. But we will definitely do something when we can. Morning, afternoon.
27 degrees, lovely.
I can't imagine what that would be like to suddenly walk out the door and it'd be 27 degrees. It wouldn't be as it feels at the moment. 2-all draw, says Michael. Andrew, great show, guys. Thank you. Stay safe all here.
Thank you.
And Jason, great show as always. You're better than the football itself. What better way to end than on that? I don't know who's back on Sunday. I guess it's Mikey, because I've done this one and Ben did the last one. But you'll obviously see all of the details on our Twitter account. Also, we gave this a bit of a plug on the Twitter. If you were thinking of making a purchase from the Terrace, who do a good range of ITFC merch, use our link. Use our theterracestore.com/Blue Monday. We get a little bit of a kickback from that. So if you're in the market for a new mug or a phone cover or a dog bandana, then do use our link. It's available on our Twitter page. That would be really kind of you. And Simon, top show as always. Thank you very much. Michael Warner, 27 degrees is great. Yes, thank you very much. And so we'll see you soon, Seb. I'll let you say goodbye.
Lambert out.
Lambert out. Good.